transfer method called PSA. Okay, along with PSA, we have another transfer method called IDA. See, PSA is recommended one by SAP, and you can have more transfer rates, okay, data transfer rates using PSA, and whenever you use a transfer method called PSA, then only PSA table will be generated. So, going forward, what they did, they obsoleted this concept called IDOC. Okay? The IDOC annadi 3.5 తర్వాత లేదండి. So, prior to BA7 until 3.5, you have two transfer methods, PSA and IDOC. And the major difference would be the transfer rate. PSA is going to transfer more number of records when compared to IDOC. And apart from that, whenever you use the transfer method for PSA, which is default transfer method, the persistent staging area will be created within data flow. Okay, this is a table. It's a RDBMS table. This RDBMS table will be generated whenever we use a transfer method called PSA. Then you can select this transfer method by creating transfer rules. You can select this transfer method. So we have something like this. We have data in the source system, and whenever you transfer the data using LP, data passes through data source data field and stored in the PSA table. If you select transfer method as PSA, then only this table will be generated. If you select another transfer method called IDOC, then the table won't be generated. And going forward from BA7 onwards, they make the PSA mandatory. Okay? And going forward to BA7 onwards, there won't be any two transfer methods. There is only one transfer method, that is PSA, and no more IDOC transfer method. Okay? So, RDBMS table will be generated. And the generated table will have structure of data source and technical field. So, the PSA and calling this one as a table. Table will have structure, right? Structure in the sense table will have data field. So, rows and columns, whatever it may be, those are nothing but data fields. So, PSA is a table, and PSA structure, table structure is nothing but the data source, data field, plus some technical data field. The data source data field plus some technical data field. So, the PSA table will have all data source data field. So, in our example, you have one data source, there you have data field like employee, number, name, and age. If I take my last example, there I have employee number, description, name, and age. Okay, all these are data source data fields, correct? So these are data source data fields, and these data source data fields will become your table structure. Along with this, it will have other data fields like research number, record number, and part number, all these are technical data. Okay, research number, record number, and part. Okay, let me open Last example. What is your last example? Last example, you loaded data into info object. Okay, let me take this employee 25, EMTL 25. See, this is data flow. Your data is connected to transfer to connected to input to. Input was connected to update was connected to your data package. And this is attribute data structure. And using that you can transfer the data into CSV, then into your info object. So data flow, something like that. Whenever you transfer the data using IT, whatever data in the source system, it is transferred into the CSV table first, then it is transferred to the data object. Okay? The CSV table is intermediate table which is can be used as a backup. Okay? So, if something goes wrong here, okay, someone deleted any data from the data object, no need to interact with the source system again. The required data then find it in CSV and you can pull back information from the CSV. Okay? So that's the reason CSV is used as a backup table. CSV used as backup table. If data is corrupted or data is deleted from the data target, then without interacting with the source system, we can get data from CSV table. Here, CSV table is acting as backup table, and this table holds the data in format of source system. So typically what happens? Whatever data you have here, you are dumping same data in CSV without changing. That's the reason the table holds the data in format of source system, okay, without changing anything. Holds data in format of source system. Now, so this is your system. Now, whenever you trigger this RC, data goes and fits in the PSA path from the source and later on it fits in the data target. So, for each data source, you can find one PSA table. For each data source, you can find one PSA table. For each data source, we can find one PSA table. So this is data flow diagram. In this you have data source. For this data source you can find one PSA, and for this data source you can find another PSA. This PSA is going to hold attribute information. This PSA is going to hold text information. Now, if you want to see this information, see, until now I am showcasing information in data warehousing workspace, means in latest data flow. So, if you want to go back to 3.x, you can choose RSA1 old. Now, see, the same data flow diagram in 3.x, it looks something like this. Let me look for 0 EMPL data source, attribute data source. Okay. Okay, let me work it out from data workbench itself. It's taking a lot of time whenever we are accessing administrator workbench. So, see, we have info area 1030 something, correct? Let me go to that info area. $10.30. Okay. Okay, we have data target, employee attribute data target, and update rule, info source, and then transfer rule, then data source. What I said before, for each data source you can find one ESA. If you want to see the ESA information, then you have multiple options. The first option would be employee ಅದು ಮುಂದೆ ತರ್ತಿರೋದು ಒಂದು నేను చెప్తాను నేను చెప్తాను ఒక అరగంట కాల్ చేసి చెప్తాను ఓకేనా సో for each data source we can find one PSA, and if you want to know information within the PSA, then what you need to do, this is 7.x date. Okay, right click the data source, then you can have option called manage. Okay, so whatever information I am sharing with respect to PSA, this is with respect to 7.x. If you want to see information within the PSA, then what you need to do, from each data source, you can have one PSA table, correct? Just you can right click the PSA and click on the manage. Click on the manage. If you click on the manage, then you can see one request here. What it means, you have data flow diagram something like this. Data target, update row, info source, transfer row, and data source. So PSA coming to the picture here, PSA and data source, and we will create ID here. And ID is useful to access to data from the source. Source contains data. Now we requested data using this ID, that's the reason the request ID has been generated. And because of this request, you can see one request in PSA. That authentication was being shared. Okay. Then this request is showcasing in 3 tick marks. 3 tick marks means this request is not only in PSA, it is already updated to data target. Okay. This is unique request ID number, and this is also request ID number. And you requested data on this page, and on this date, and you can see the loading timing also. Now, if you want to see the information within PSA, then select this request, then click on this is representation of PSA. Go to PSA maintenance. Go to PSA maintenance. This is the way we do in 7.8, okay, not in 3.8. So, because of this request, 6 records were there in PSA, and if you click on this, then because of this request, 6 records were transferred from source to PSA, and in PSA, data is bundled into data packet, and one data packet is carrying 6 records, okay. And if you want to see 6 records information, then click on continue button. Now, in source system, we have 6 records, all 6 records as it is loaded into the PSA table. So, in your PSA table on information totality. For each data source, you can find one PSA. That's the reason. Right click data source, go to the manage and select the request and click on the PSA maintenance button. Then the screen will open. Then select this data packet and click on the continue. That's it. Then system will open PSA table information for you. This is PSA table information. And how many records we have? 6 records. 6 records are transferred from source to PSA part. Then the same record will transfer into the data packet. Now come back. So whenever you see PSA maintenance, in PSA you can change the record. In PSA you can change the record manually. Okay? If I click on continue, I can change the record manually. Correct? So, if any invalid information is coming from source system to SAP BW side, and if you want to change invalid information into valid information, yes, it is possible in PSA. Okay, that's the reason PSA is used as filter. We can change invalid information into valid information using PSA maintenance. Small case letters can be converted manually into capital letters. Small case letters are always invalid information for BW. If you convert into the capital letters, then it's a valid information. SAP BW Info Objects won't accept small case letters by default. Okay, if you try to upload small case letters information into the SAP BW Info Object, then your loads may end up with errors. That's the reason PSA will allow you to convert small case letters into the capital letters. So, if small case letters are coming from the data source, coming from the source system, here you have small case letters. Whenever you transfer the data into the data target, system won't allow small case letters. In between you have PSA. In PSA you can convert small case letters into the capital letters. So, invalid information, not only this one, see, if you have exclamatory mark coming from the source, and by default, this information is not acceptable by BW. Like this, some special characteristics. Okay, some special characteristics like U on top of the U, if you see two dots, okay, those are special characteristics. Those are by default not acceptable by DW. Then what you can do, you can remove this special characteristics in PSA, and whatever allowable characteristics are should be transferred into the data target. Okay, you can filter certain information here, and whatever here you want into the data target, you can transfer. Okay, that's the reason PSA can be used as filter. You can filter, you can modify invalid information into the valid information. Is say like something information coming, if I know in this case data is data load will say. Special is what we do in PSA. Then remove it. Okay, now I have information like something like this. Then it will be allowable information for the data target. So invalid information, not allowable information, you can convert into the valid information in PSA. So in production, okay, in source system, if you have any bad data, what we need to do? We need to clean that information in PSA, and you need to send further into the data target. Fine. Now, how to find out PSA table? And keep on saying PSA is a table. Now you are able to see information within the table. Okay, this is information within the table, and if you want to see the table information, then what we need to do, go back and go back, again go back, and if you right click this one, if you right click the data source, you can see, if you right click the data target, then you can see data flow diagram information. Okay, in data flow diagram, yes, we can see PS is correct. So this is data flow diagram. If you see data flow diagram, I am showcasing data flow diagram from here. In DI finance system, I am using data warehousing workbench. I am not using administrator workbench. Slight differences are there in look and feel wise, but functionality-wise, you won't find any differences. See here, it won't showcase, its data flow-wise, it will come up with in right way only, but it won't showcase the PSA information. The PSA information comes and sits here. You can find PSA table here. If you try to see information in RSA1 or in RSA1 old law, right click this, if you try to see the data flow diagram, then you are going to get something like this. Info object, update and info source, transfer source, then PSA, then data flow, then here you have PSA table. Okay. And once you have PSA table there, if you click on the technical name on and off, then PSA table also will come up with one technical table. Okay, let me showcase that information also. So EMT 25. This is EMTL 25. So once you find out technical table name of PSA, then Most of the time it starts with something like this. Start with the universal alpha number, not alpha number, universal number. This is your PSA table generated by the system whenever you select transfer method as PSA. And this information you can see in a table called ST11. A table called ST11. Okay, let me go back. Patience and the system has slowed down. So what are the ways we have to know PSA table technical name? Okay, one is you can get PSA table technical name using default data flow diagram. In the default data flow diagram, it is not showcasing PSA table information itself. Correct? So if you click on the technical names also, it is not showcasing PSA. That's the reason see. Go to 3.8 data flow, then go for technical name on. Okay, then you can get something like this. You need to give this information in SQL. So you can find PSA table. Later on, if you go to the content, then you are going to see 6 tickers within that PSA table. We already seen that information. So if you want to see the content of PSA table, then you can right click manage and you can go to the, you can right click the data source and you can go to the manage. From there you can see the data source related PSA information. Okay. And we have different options. I'm just exploring different options, whatever we have, to find out PSA table information, technical name information. Until now we didn't see PSA table technical name information. You can get entire PSA information here. Persistent staging area is inbound storage area for data from the source system. And we don't see data number first store area in PSA database. Whenever you trigger the data load into the BW site, data will be stored first into the PSA. Okay, so that's the reason it is known as first inbound storage area. It stores physically in table. It's a table, right? That's the reason data stores physically in PSA. It will allow PSA table will allow small case data, but whenever you try to change information into the data target, that time it's a more allow. In PSA you need to do modification and you need to put the information into the data target. I am going to showcase all that information. So you can perform this example in default text also, but in default text you are going to see very few options only. Okay, I would like to mix up the endpoint text and default text. I want to come up with more options. In 7.x data flow, you won't get CSA table name. That's the reason once you constructed data flow diagram or once you constructed data flow, okay, then you need to open that one in 3.1. Then you can get CSA and you can get technical name of CSA. So one case is 3.x data flow diagram. And second case is if it is use 7.x data flow, then we have data flow and you need to click on double click on the data flow and we have menu option. Okay, from this menu option also you can find out for each data flow you can have a CSA, right? Okay, so double clicking on the data flow and using menu options as you can get the associated CSA table for this data flow.
Information అంతా ఇక్కడ చూపిస్తాను నేను. System should cooperate with us. Okay. So you have two options, right? First, let me discuss about this option. You would like to know the CSA table technical name from the data source, correct? Each data source contains one CSA table. Double click on the data source. This is your data source, correct? This is your data source. Double click on the data source. Go to technical attributes. Then this is the CSA table associated. Okay. What is the CSA table name? /BSC/B and numerical number 001793000. Copy this one. Once you have data source CSA table name, then go to SE11 to see the information. /SE11. SE11. In SE11 you can see information about table. In ST11 you can see information about table. This time around this is some previous transaction. Okay, this time we have table name there. So go to ST11 and give table information and click on display. So what is the structure of the table of CSA? It's always something technical fields, then data source stream. So we can see this is CSA table and all these are the technical fields. And all these are the data source, data field. So your CSA always contains technical field plus data source, data field. See, your source system also contains same data field. Whatever data is there in this source system data field will be dumped directly into this. Okay. So that's the reason CSA always contains source system data as it is in the data field. Along with that, how many records we have? 6 records. So 1 to 6 record numbers you can find in record number. Okay. Then part number. Part number is the CSA can be. CSA is a table. You can perform partitioning on top of the CSA also. If you do partitioning, then it will be the partition number. Here we didn't give any partitioning, and that CSA is one partition. That's the reason every time it comes as one of these. In data packet number, whenever you transfer the data will be bundled into the data packet. You can specify the data packet size in info packages, okay, so that 100 data packets, 100 data records can be considered as one data packet, otherwise 1000 records you can consider as one data packet, otherwise 10,000 records you can consider as one data packet. If you give data packet size, based on the sizes, data will be transferred using those data packets. So if a data packet size కొంత ఇచ్చారు అనుకోండి, ఆ డేటా ప్యాకెట్ సైజ్ ఇచ్చిన ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కి ఎంత డేటా అయితే దాంట్లో పడుతుందో అదంతా కూడా ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతుంది అన్నమాట. ఇప్పుడు మీకు సోర్స్ సిస్టమ్ లో ఒక 10,000 రికార్డ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. యూ ప్రొవైడెడ్ డేటా ప్యాకెట్ సైజ్ యాజ్ say like something, okay, something kilobyte you provided. So based on that, it's 10 carrying 100 records. How many records we have? 10,000 records. So using 100 data packets, in each data packet you can find 100 records. 100 into 100, 10,000. Okay. So 10 data packets. Each data packet will carry 100 records. Okay. And like that, all 10,000 will be transferred using 100 data packets. Each data packet will contain 100 records. Okay. So data packet ID in the sense, so based on the size, data will be transferred or data will be bundled into data packet, and some data packet will have data packet ID is 1, like that 2, 3, 4, 5. Based on the data, you can have data packet ID. Request, you know request, right? Whenever you request the data from the source system, unique request ID will be generated within the system. Okay, that is something that is a request ID. This is a characteristic of 30 alphanumerical name. Okay, so this is the structure of the CSA. And if you want to see the content within the CSA table, what kind of content you are going to see? How many records you are going to see? 6 records. Number of entries, obviously, it will end up with 6. How many request IDs you are going to see? 1. How many data packets you are going to see? 1. How many part numbers you are going to see? And how many records numbers you are going to see? 1 to 6. Yes. Yes. Partitioning we don't do PSA partitioning and data packet ID. Yes. Whenever you transfer huge amount of data load, you need to do these packet ID settings. I got just now got a call right. He's asking for data packet settings for this. Now, okay, and we need to do those settings. So that sometimes if you keep data packet size as a high volume size, then it may cut up your load also. Sometimes you need to let the data packet size so that amount of data load what transfer from the source system to the system, it will minimize and your load and consumption will go smoothly. Now, because of same request, all 60 are bundled into one data packet ID and loaded into the same partition every time it is located in a single partition. And this is the data comes from your source to your ESA table. So this is information about ESA table, and you can see information something like this. Otherwise, see the fixed data source, and we double click on the data source and fix. And from menu we selected technical attributes. There we found the table. That's fine. And once you have table information, then you can go into SC level and you can paste this table information and you can see the information about the ESA table. This is one way. The other way would be go to Flash RSA1 old and select your info source. Show data flow diagram. You will end up with data flow diagram. There you can see PSA table also. Then click on technical settings. The PSA table will appear with the technical name. Now you have got technical name for the PSA. Then copy from there and paste it. That's it. Okay. See any data flow diagram in RSA1 old. If it is open, then I will show you. Now, there is your application component. Let me search for application component. I think I have provided information like see, if you expand this one, you can see update and you can see the info source information also in update source technical name. Then go to the info source and search for your info source, and once you get the info source, then right click and you can see the data flow diagram. Not only this one, by using this one also, if you right click this one, you can see the data flow diagram, and if you click on that technical settings on and off, then It will showcase your PSA table information. Okay. See, this is your data target, right? Right click this one and show data flow. You can see data flow diagram from here or from info sources. Right click this one and show data flow diagram. A 7.3 system. Kurban and a 7.3 system high-end system so that I can move forward. So let me try a 3-point exercise. Okay, this is right click from 7.8. Okay, and show data for everyone. This is some analysis. So here you can see PSA. Okay. Once you see PSA, then click on technical line. You can see 179 name PSA data. You are able to find out using data warehousing webpage. Right clicking, double click on the data source, and from there you got this number, right? And from 3.x data source also you can get this number. Now copy this number from here and paste it in S11 and execute there. Then you can change the table structure. Later on, content is in the table. Now, you need to understand one thing. This is content, certain technical key, and your data source. And this content, data, whatever you have in the system, directly comes into this. Okay. After data key, and stored here, other key in the source system. Then only, whenever you apply the transformation, then only data will be transformed into info object. Now, how PSA can be used for backup? Backup in the sense someone deleted record in the data target. Okay? Now, I have requested the data target called GEMPL 25. Then I am deleting this one. Deleted. No more information in the data target. I need to put the information now from PSA, not from the core system. Okay. In this case, we can do a simple option called reconstruction. Okay.
What we do, we have data target. Data target is there with non-pixel. Because of non-pixel, we have 6 pixels. We delete this pixel from the data target. 6 pixels from the remote from the data target. Now, we have 6 pixels in PSA. The reason is pixel is still there. Okay. And in core system also have 6 pixels. Instead of taking the information from core system, I would like to share the information from PW system. Okay. Then we can go for
reconstruction. Reconstruction in the sense
constructing the picture back into the data target from PS.
okay. If you go to PSA maintenance now, in that green color tick mark converted here, now it will appear as red. Means it is there in PSA but not in corresponding data target. Now if I want to reconstruct, select this request. Now click on insert. Reconstruct in the sense constructing back this request into the data target, otherwise inserting this request back into the data target. Now go back to the request and click on refresh. You delete it and again you insert it. This is nothing but reconstructing. Reconstructing in the sense
writing the request, this was deleted from the data target, writing the request from PSA to data target.
Okay. So in this function you can make this PSA as data target. And now again I am deleting request. This is one way. Okay. And if you want to write data from PSA to data target, then using 3-point means using RSA1 old. Now you have deleted data from data target, go to RSA1 old. And this is the info source for this data target. Okay. Now I'm copying this one. GEMPL 25_ATTR is info source technical name for this data target. If you want to transfer the data from PSA to data target, then go to RSA1 old and go to PSA. Okay. In administrator workbench. Under modeling, you have a button called or you have option called PSA and click on PSA. Once PSA has reached, once you click on the PSA, then search for your info source information. Okay, you know already GEMPL 25_ATTR is your info source. Double click on that one. Okay, search for that one. Once it is found, double click on that one. And now you can see info source and corresponding PSA. Giving one statement. here. This is your data flow. Obviously, this is going to be your info source and structured info source. You are able to find info source information. It should have your PSA should have that reset which is missing there. That's the reason again I am executing the same step. Okay, let me run R7 code. See what I did, I deleted Excel from the data target. I want to finish the request mark to data target. And one option reconstruction, we already did that one. Now we are going to perform another option that is using PSA. So go to PSA under modeling. And so here under this it should give us one more request. Somebody is deleting the reuse request. We need to find out that part. Okay, this option I will discuss later. See, until now we discussed about a reconstruction option, and this is 3-point X option, and I am going to come up with 7-point X option. Okay. So this is 3-point X data flow. And if you want to write the data from PSA to data target, then you have option for reconstruction. And second option is go to the data sources. Otherwise, you have GEMPL 25, right? Then no need to go to the data sources. From here itself, I will go to the data sources. Come back. See, from here itself, I will find out the corresponding data source. Expand, 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 expand. So this is data source. If you go to manage, so now it is showcasing in red color, not in green color. What it means? The request is in PSA, but request is not updated to the data target. Now if you want to update to the data target, select this request and you have a scheduler. Update with the scheduler. Where you are updating? You are updating into the employee, which is nothing but data target, and schedule it and immediately start. Now whatever request you have here, now you are updating to the data target. In this fashion you can do. Otherwise you can get this one using RSML or and PSA option is there. From there also you can do. See, now we are monitoring this request. Now request is sitting in the employee 25 info object. EMPL 25 object. So this is your second option. Third option is go to RSA or other modeling. Select PSA and search for your info code and expand it. Then you can find PSA and expand PSA and then you can find request. Okay, you need to write this feature and you need to click on update manually. Whatever it is, even PSA, when you click on update manually, the request will be updated into the data target manually. Okay. So this is again same thing we are doing here, but using another option. This is a new option. Data source, right click manage and select the request and click on the scheduler so that request will be inserted into the data target. So fine. Tomorrow I will discuss about this third option and this is the simple option. And apart from this, tomorrow I will discuss about if I have also convert. Also convert this one into character data and how to reload data from PSA to data target. Okay. Then we will see other errors and also transfer the data from PSA to data target and later on we will see different processing types. Okay. Again, then I am going to discuss about your PSA only tomorrow class and tomorrow class. And tomorrow I am going to discuss if I have small case data, if you transfer the data, load will be trained automatically. Once load has been trained automatically, then what are the steps we need to perform and by using what steps we need to correct the load. Okay, that information we are going to see tomorrow. So invalid characteristics information will convert them into the valid and we will perform the load correction tomorrow. Okay, fine. Thank you.